What is the Clean Air Act, CAA, for businesses? Imagine working in a factory or running a business that releases smoke or chemicals into the air. You might wonder what rules are in place to keep the air clean for everyone. That's where the Clean Air Act comes in. This law is designed to protect our air quality by setting rules for industries and vehicles that pollute the air we breathe. It was passed in 1970 and has been updated many times to keep up with new challenges. For businesses, the Clean Air Act means they have to follow certain standards about how much pollution they can release. If a company emits a lot of pollutants, they need to get special permits called Title V air operating permits. These permits gather all the rules and limits a business must follow into one document. This makes it easier for companies to understand what they need to do to stay compliant. The law also sets specific limits on different pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and hazardous air pollutants. These limits are based on scientific studies that show what levels are safe for public health and the environment. Businesses must regularly check their emissions and report them to authorities to prove they are following the rules. If they don't, they can face fines or other penalties. The Clean Air Act also requires businesses to monitor their emissions continuously and keep detailed records. This helps regulators ensure that companies are not exceeding their limits. Inspections are carried out periodically to verify compliance. If a business violates the law, they might have to pay fines or even shut down until they fix the problem. States play a big role in enforcing the Clean Air Act. They issue permits and oversee local industries to make sure they follow federal standards. Sometimes, states have stricter rules than the federal government, which can be good for the environment. For businesses, understanding the Clean Air Act means knowing if their operations produce enough pollution to need permits. They should assess their emissions, apply for permits, and keep records of their pollution levels. Small businesses can get help from programs designed to assist them in meeting these requirements without too much trouble. In the end, the Clean Air Act helps businesses stay on the right side of the law while protecting air quality. It encourages companies to reduce pollution, monitor their impact, and work with regulators. This law is a key part of good corporate governance and compliance, making sure that economic growth does not come at the expense of clean air for everyone.